Welcome to our final multiplying decimals lesson in Unit 4, and today we're going to be working on multiplying decimal word problems. So we're just going to go over three word problems real quick. Same way, we're just really focusing on when do we multiply, when do we add, when do we subtract, when do we divide with word problems. We've done lots of practice with the actual multiplying, so now we're going to try to apply that to what it looks like in a word problem. So in pink, our first question says, if Chris ran 15.7 miles each day for 8 days straight, how far did Chris run in all? So a couple of keys here. So we're going to look at this in all. So that tells us that we're going to run. There's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, and day 8. So remember, our pictures are just to show us what's happening. Each one of these is the 15.7. So when you think about multiplying, it's repeated addition. So you could do 15 and 7/10 plus 15 and 7/10 and so on. Or we can do the shortcut, and we're just going to go ahead and do the shortcut, which is to multiply 15.7 times the 8 straight days. And once again, if you want to estimate this, 16 times 8, that doesn't help us a whole lot, because 15.7 or 16 times 8, that's neither of those are mental math. So we're just going to go ahead and multiply it out and see what we get. So when we multiply this problem out, we're going to get 125 and 6/10. So 125 is our whole answer. 6/10 of a mile is our decimal. 1 decimal spot, 1 decimal spot. And remember, how far did you run? Well, you run in miles, not days. So our label, we have to remember, is miles. We want to make sure we always have labels on our word problems. So 125 and 6/10 miles is how far Chris ran in 8 days. All right, let's take a look at our second one. So going to a movie theater, $8.75 per ticket. 5 people going to the movie. So what's the cost of the 5 movie tickets? So once again, this time, pictures, you could draw yourself 5 tickets. And you could label each one $8.75. $8.75. So hopefully these visuals are helping you understand the multiplying idea of it, and how multiplying is just a quicker way of adding, because we could solve it with adding for both those problems, but we want to do it the quicker way. So in this case, we're going to do the multiplication. So $8.75 times 5. So both of these examples are decimal times a whole. Our next example will be a decimal times a decimal, and we'll show you what that might look like. But when we multiply this all out, this one you could maybe estimate to say $9 times $5, or people, it would be 45. But we'll just go ahead and multiply it all out. When we do that, we get $43.75. When you're dealing with money, the dollar sign is actually your label. All right, so you don't have to write dollars and cents. You can just use the dollar sign, and everybody knows that's the answer to the question is $43.75. All right, so let's do one last one. And here's another real-world example of a decimal times a decimal. So the total cost of grocery bill at Target was $95.03. The tax you have to pay is 6 cents. How much tax is charged for this purchase? So a real-world example here, tax, you pay 6 cents for every dollar you spend. So you kind of have to have that background knowledge or understanding. So basically this is just a multiplication problem. So we're going to do our total of the bill, which was $95.03, and then we're going to have to multiply that by the tax, because this tax is for each dollar, and we have $95.03 worth that we have to charge tax to. And this happens when you go to any store, no matter where you live, you're going to have to pay tax. It's not always 6%. Different cities kind of pay different amounts. Sometimes it could be 7 cents, it could be 5 cents. So we just kind of picked a kind of an average there. All right, I'm not going to go through all the multiplication. I'm just going to write down the answer, because the point is to understand when to multiply. So this one, what I do want to show you though, is that when you get the answer, it's going to show up like this. So this is kind of weird. So we might want to, we'll move over 4 spots. That's not the weird part. But can we have $5.70 and then 18 something else? No, we only go to 2 decimal places for when we're talking about money. So in this case, we can just eliminate, because that's like part of a penny. Nobody's going to charge you part of a penny. So the tax here would be $5.70. So we counted our 4, we had to use those to count our 4 decimal places to the right, but the actual tax is just $5.70. Now, they may have taken this a step further if they ask you, okay, well, that's how much tax, but what if they asked you how much is the total that you have to pay? Well, then you're going to have to do a 2-step problem. Now you're going to have to add. So you'd take your total price of what you bought, the groceries, and then you'd have to add what the tax is for your grand total. So we haven't got to adding decimals yet, but this would be like a 2-step problem if they were asking you, so what's the total you have to pay? Well, the total purchase plus the tax amount. But we'll get that when we get to the adding decimals lesson later on. So once again, please feel free to ask questions if you have them, and let me know how you do on the quiz. You can write that in the comments. And on all of these quizzes, if you have trouble with them and you want to practice again, just kind of change the numbers up. So you can use the same format, the same word problems, just change the numbers a little bit, and then you have a new problem to practice. So for example, you could just change this one to $93.12. And you could change this to 7 cents tax, for example. So you can always make an infinite amount of questions based on my kind of question stems that I have on the quizzes. But anyway, good luck, and we will see you in our next lesson. So we're already going to be to Unit 5, which is going to be dividing decimals. So thanks again for watching Soflex Math.